Is you ready, my brother? Step up to this mic and let's get it.
Make some noise for Domes, y'all. Make some noise.
Hey everybody, my name's not Doms. It's Domes. What is that? Domes Gage is dope, but like...
That boy is good. I promise.
What's up, guys? Domes Gage here, and we're back. We're finally back after a hiatus that's been way too long. I think I've been gone for a whole month now, guys, and I'm ashamed of it, and I'm sorry. I apologize, but we're back. Back for another episode of Off the Dome with Domes Gage, episode 20. Episode 20 and the first official episode of 2020. Although I did post an episode like the first week of 2020, but it was the KON episode with the little partial episode of me at the end. It wasn't a official 2020 episode. This is the first episode of 2020. And like I said, it's been a long time, guys. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a dope podcast to step to. I just shouldn't have left you. That's what I shouldn't have left you. Although I did leave you guys with some music, which we're going to get to here in a couple minutes. But, yeah, I just shouldn't have left you guys. Like I said, I'm ashamed. I'm sorry. But we're back. We're back. I just had to take a I don't know the right word that I'm looking for. Sabbatical? What's that? Like when you is that the word I'm thinking of? Google. Is that like when you it's like you leave for work or leave from work, right? Hold on. If I know how to spell it. I clearly don't. Sorry, guys. Dead air already in this podcast. I haven't done this in a minute. Yeah, a sabbatical is a rest or break from work. So, that was the word I was looking for, apparently. And I took a break from the podcast to kind of get back excited for it, I think. There was a couple of those weeks that I just wasn't really feeling it and didn't record it, and then that turned into a month-long hiatus. And now I'm charged back up, and I'm excited to get back to recording these episodes. I'm so excited to record these episodes that for the first time in a very long time, I'm recording this episode on Sunday night, just so I can make sure it's up on Monday, bright and early, which I don't know the last time that's happened. So I am a month late, but we're getting back on track, guys. We're getting back on fucking schedule. Off the Dome with Domes Gage is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. Buck has been talking shit to me every week, calling me a lazy piece of shit. He's like, you know, the fans are waiting for these fucking podcast episode, Domes. You're not fucking recording them. You're letting the people down. Buck's been giving me shit, guys. So, don't worry. I feel terrible about leaving you guys for a month with no episode. But that means I have way too much shit to talk about today because I haven't recorded an episode in a month, so a lot of shit happens. A lot of shit happened. So I guess let's get into it. If you're listening, if you've made it this far, so far, make sure to hit that like button if you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. The subscribers have been going up, and that's greatly appreciated. Yeah. let's get into the first official episode of 2020. Although it's fucking the second week of February. Fucking slacking, guys. I'm slacking. I meant to do it last week. I was like, all right, I blew January. Like, let me get back on it February. Didn't even do it last week. So, but yeah, no dwelling on the past. All we can do is focus on the now, focus on the present, and we're back for episode 20. And we're about 5 minutes in and haven't talked about shit yet. So, let's get into it. I guess let's start with the EP, which I did do a little, I popped in at the end of the KON episode and did a little solo part where I just talked about, I don't actually remember what I talked about, but I remember saying that the EP was out because I had just released the EP before I put out the last episode. So let's talk about the EP a little bit. My new EP, A Shot in the Dark, is out now, available on all digital platforms, the Spotifys, the Apple Musics, all that good stuff. So make sure to go listen to that. I appreciate all the love that I've been receiving on it so far. It's been out for about a whole month now since I put it out like the last day of December. So it's been out for a little bit over a month now. And I really appreciate all the love that I've gotten on it. The streams have been doing really well. I made it a point at the end of last year when I had seen my Spotify streams. I was like, I really want to make it a point to get these higher for next year, and up my Spotify numbers. And the only way I can do that is by releasing more music for you guys to listen to on Spotify. And yeah. So the EP has been doing well, and I appreciate every single one of you guys that's listening. And if you haven't heard it yet, make sure to do that. I've been trying to do, sorry guys, my camera. I haven't done a podcast in a month, and it kind of made me forget that the camera freaks out every time I try and do one of these, and it's throwing me off. But I think it's gonna work, hopefully. Not knock on wood. Don't want to jinx it. So yes, as I fucking, goddamn you, camera. Come on, Buck. Tell the camera we have a job to do. All right. So yeah, released a new EP, 8 new songs. God damn you, camera. I almost just want to take a second and see if the camera will calm down before I keep talking. Sip my tea. All right. Right when I start talking, the camera's going to fucking die. I know it. I just know it. Sorry, guys. One day, I won't have to deal with this problem. I'll have a camera that is efficient for recording a podcast. The one I'm using right now is not efficient for recording a podcast. It cuts out way too much. It's not made to record long periods of time. So I'm trying to make it work. But for the audio-only listeners, this has been a fucking blank-ass episode so far. But blank-ass episode is better than no episode. And considering I haven't given you an episode in a month, be happy with the blank air, guys. I'm happy to be back, guys. I'm happy to be back fucking recording an episode. Make sure to leave a comment right now and say, fuck yeah, I'm happy to see the podcast back. Yeah, leave that comment. So yes, guys, the new EP, A Shot in the Dark, 8 new songs, written and produced by your boy. I'm trying to think if I should I'm probably not going to break down like the songs like that, but I do want to talk, I guess, a little bit about the project. And now that it's been a whole month since I've released it, I've already been, trying to put my head onto the next thing. So it's kind of hard for me to go back, and I don't know exactly what I want to say about the project. Because I'm already, trying to be on to the next. And speaking of that, one of the first things I did after releasing this project was wipe. Like, I have the whiteboard in my studio where I write down, all the songs I'm working on. And for any artist out there that's ever made an album or something, they probably are familiar with the whiteboard, because you write your track list on there and cross it off sort of as you get your mixes done or whatever the case is. You have your track list on the whiteboard. And so I've had this EP track list on the whiteboard for a good amount of time now. I'm not exactly sure how long. I was trying to think, but I've had that track list on the whiteboard for quite a while. So, the day or two after I dropped the EP, I fucking took the eraser and wiped the track list off the whiteboard. And that felt good to do, because that means, we're on to the next one. That means we're on to the next one. And, there's no better feeling for an artist that's working on a project to erase that track list from the whiteboard. And I had a little video that I took of it, so I'm gonna put that in the podcast. But but before we get to that, let's I do want to talk about the project a little bit, as much as I can, if I can think of anything to say about it. But let's time travel fucking a month ago to releasing the last podcast episode and even releasing this EP in the first place. So me and KON had recorded the majority of that episode. We recorded that episode a few days before the new year. So it was, the end of December. And that's why I think I did the bit I did at the end is after New Year's, and I kind of said something about, anyway, it was a confusing timeline, guys. I'm sorry. I have this shit all fucked up. The KON episode fucking got me all discombobulated. It got me all fucked up. I told KON he's a curse to podcasts that I do, and he's killed 2 of my podcasts. And I'm joking. I don't actually mean that. But he came on the podcast and just fucking threw everything off for me. And but anyways, that's not what I was meaning to get into. What I was meaning to talk about is, so me and KON record this episode of the podcast, and I have about 2 days left to put the final touches on the EP before releasing it on New Year's Eve. A couple days left to just, to finish up the last mixes and to get everything mastered and to upload it. So me and KON record this episode, and then the next day, and it was also kind of a hassle, me and KON recording that episode. I think I sort of talked about it in the little piece that I did at the end of the last episode, that we just kind of ran out of time, and it was all sort of anyway. So the next day I'm kind of man, I need to edit this podcast episode, but I also need to put the finishing touches on this EP. I had made this commitment to myself that I was going to be releasing the EP on the 31st, and so my head was more in that direction anyway. But that was why that podcast episode ended up coming out a week later. But Yes. So the next day, me and KON record this episode. Then the next day, I'm like gearing up to fucking, I'm hyping myself up to release this EP. And I'm driving like to the store or whatever. And I'm driving my Pops' whip. I don't have a car, guys. I'm gonna just be honest. I'm driving my Pops' whip, and I'm driving to the store, and I'm like playing the EP like out the speakers, doing the car test or whatever. And so I'm playing the music, and making sure everything's straight or whatever. And then so I go to the store, and I hop in the car, head back home, and I'm playing the music, and I'm like, fuck yeah. I'm about to get home. I'm about to put the finishing touches on this EP, get everything ready to just, seal it up. It's done. Get it ready to upload and shit. And then I was like, if I have time, I'm going to work on the podcast me and KON did and get that done as well. And so yeah, hop in the car, start heading home. And I'm like, headed home, like, close to my house or whatever. And like I said, listening to the music, just trying to make sure everything's cool. And boom, out of nowhere, some chick pulls right in front of me, busts a left turn in front of me. I fucking slam on the brakes, try and stop. Don't stop in time. Fucking crash into this girl and total my Pops' whip. And it was all bad, guys. And this is 2 days before I need to release this EP. It was all bad. It was just... And I was going to talk about this in the last episode, but like I said, didn't get to it. Haven't recorded an episode in a month. So we're talking about it now. But yeah. So I'm all good. Like, it wasn't too bad. Like I said, I saw her. I slammed on my brakes. Like, she just like cut in front of me. And but yeah, fucking wrecked the whip, and I felt so fucking bad about it. And all I could think of is like, fuck, that's just like, I had to deal with that all day. That just added like this extra like stress levels of like, now my head's on this. I'm not even thinking about like, fuck, I have an EP to release in a day or two. Like, just a wild like fucking roadblock for real, like a fucking wrench getting thrown in the plans, you know what I mean? And I just had to like really like just pick myself out of that and be like, all right, like, we got it handled. And I have this EP I still need to do. So it was like literally like that took up a whole day of me just like dealing with that shit, to where the next day I'm just like, all right, now I need to like get back in the mode of releasing this fucking EP. And that was why the podcast episode got pushed a week back and whatever. But yeah, guys, so fucking wrecked my Pops' whip. And like I said, this was, the week before, or the couple days before New Year's, so he's all situated. He's got his new ride and all that, and I'm alive and I'm good. But yeah, so that was fucking wild. It's the first car accident. I've been in a car accident, but I've never been driving. It's the first car accident I've ever been in while I was driving, and I was just trying to listen to the levels on the EP. And that bullshit happened. So I thought I would mention that because that played a part in just like, I was like, fuck, well, that's a roadblock, but now we got to overcome that and still drop this EP, tomorrow or whatever it was. I'm pretty sure it was the day after that I was releasing the EP. And so, yeah, as I talk about a lot in these episodes, guys, that fucking wrenches get thrown in the plan, and if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Or is that what the saying is in Dodgeball in the movie? Something like that, right? So yeah, you gotta just, overcome the fucking the roadblocks and shit. And sometimes people aren't looking when they're driving, and they turn in front of you while you're going home, and you slam on your brakes, but it's just not enough time, and you slam into their car, and there goes a day of... Anyway, I don't know what I'm trying to get at it here, but yes, guys, that happened. I'm good, and I picked my fucking self up out of that, got straight back to work, and released the EP. So I was very happy. I was very proud of myself. I know I've been talking about it. I've been talking about it on this podcast since fucking August. I was like, I think I'm going to drop an EP before the end of the year. And it took me until literally the very last day, the very last day of 2019. But, you know, I was talking to like Ryan, and he's like, as long as it's New Year's Eve, like, you know, as long as it's the 31st, that's still before the end of the year, and that's all that matters and shit. And so he really like hyped me up to even pursue like, or to push and get that shit released. So hell yeah. And yeah. So yeah, I was proud of myself for hitting that deadline, you know. We've been talking about it on this podcast for plenty of episodes that I wanted to get that EP out before the end of the year, and I did it, guys. So, round of applause. No. Nah, that's not enough. That's just the start. But yeah, I do really hope you guys enjoy the EP. I've been making a lot of music over the last couple years, and those 8 songs were like a batch that I made, I want to say around a similar time, about a year ago, like a year. Yeah, I'd say they're probably about a year old, maybe some of them a little bit more. I'm not sure. But there were a batch of songs that I was originally going to release as singles, and that's why all the artwork, if you guys have seen the artwork for it, there's like a cover art for all the individual songs as well as cover art for the EP. And so I was originally going to release these songs like kind of as singles, and the more I was listening to them, I was like, honestly, like some of them kind of fit better in the scheme of like a little project, and really all these songs sort of flow together. They're all like a similar vibe, a similar tone to them, and the project just sort of formed itself. Like I really didn't plan. I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to make an EP and here are the 8 songs for it. I was just making music, and sort of the more that I was listening to the stuff that I had finished, I was just like, yo, I really think like this is a project, you know what I mean? And the project really formed itself. You know, it took legs on its own. And even the title, I'm like, I don't even know, like I was just like making the music, and then I think I had a couple ideas for it, and then for some reason, like A Shot in the Dark just popped into my head, like the saying for some reason had popped into my head, and I was like, oh, I kind of like that, and it sort of fits the tone of all of the music, you know. Sorry, let me Google something real quick. But yeah, so the title for the project, A Shot in the Dark, there's a couple like meanings to it, I guess, that give a little context to it, I suppose. The saying A Shot in the Dark, I'm gonna read like the Google fucking definition and shit, is an attempt to guess something when you have, hold on, that's not the fucking, hold on. There's gotta be a better but yeah, okay. Like I took a shot in the dark. I took a guess that that's kind of, that's not the fucking meaning I'm thinking of right now though. It's like a long shot, you know, kind of. But so a shot in the dark, here, hold on. What does it mean to take a shot in the dark? To try or guess at something without having any knowledge about the subject. I didn't study for the test and took a shot in the dark. Boom. So it's, to me, it meant like just like throwing shit at the wall and like seeing what sticks. You know what I mean? Like I've been shooting, and it's like just hoping something hits, been taking a shot in the dark, like an arrow, an archery, and I'm shooting at a target that I can't see, and I'm just hoping it lands, hoping it hits something. And then, of course, my song, Shoot for the Sky, which is not arguably, it is the biggest song that I have. And, you know, I like to say that, yeah, I'm shooting for the sky, I'm shooting for the sky. And even in that song, I have a lyric about every time I shoot for the sky, I end up right back here or whatever. And while I was making these songs for the EP, I was going through just some shit. You know, I was going through real life shit, and I was in, you know, a darker place. And so that, you know, still shooting for the sky, even when it's a darker time, you know what I mean? Even when things are a little bit darker, you still have to shoot for the sky, and you still have to, you know, take a shot in the dark. And so, yeah, there was kind of like a little bit of thought that went into the title, but not too much. It's sort of just like, I don't know why that saying popped into my head, or maybe I heard it somewhere. I don't fucking know. But yeah, it popped into my head, and I was like, oh, that'd be a really cool title for the EP. And boom, there's the birth of the project. And this project's called The Shot in the Dark. I have the title for the next project that actually, I don't know if it's the next project I'm working on, but for a project that is coming in the future, I have another title. And it's kind of related to A Shot in the Dark. That's all. That's all the hints I'm going to give for that right now. But yeah. So bundled it as a little project and got it released. And I'm, you know, excited to just have new music out. You know what I mean? Like, it's been 5 years, which we might as well touch on, which we'll get to in a second if we don't touch on it right this second. But, you know, I dropped the first album, Old Soul in a Young Body. The 5-year anniversary just passed, like last week, or I guess it's the 9th, February 9th. So it was 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean? The 27th of January was 5 years since I released that album. And it just feels good to get a new body of work out, you know, a new project out for you guys to listen to. And like I said, this is really just the beginning, the tip of the iceberg, you know. Even the positive response that you guys have given me from the music on the EP makes me so excited for the stuff I have planned for the future, because it only gets better from here. And yeah, I just really appreciate you guys being here to listen to what I drop still. You know, it means a lot. And yeah. So yeah, drop the EP. Close that now. So yes, I released the EP. I've been trying to do some promo for it. I wanted to do some videos for some of the songs, but we haven't been able to figure that out quite yet. But I do plan to do a couple videos for some of the songs. Leave comments with what songs off the EP you'd like to see a music video for. And maybe we'll do it. But yeah, if there's anything else I think about the EP, I'll talk about it in the next episode. I can't really think of anything else off the top right now, but it's out, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Go stream it everywhere. And then didn't waste no time. Dropped the EP on the 31st, and then a week later put out the Mantle Freestyle video. And God, there's a lot to talk about in this episode, guys. That's what happens when you don't do a podcast for a month. But yeah, so to try and promote the EP a little bit, we didn't have any videos for the EP done. So I think it was one of these episodes, one of the podcast episodes, I'm like, I get on the episode and I'm like, I should have been working on the EP this week, guys, but I made 2 new songs. I had made 2 new songs instead of making the EP, or instead of working on the EP shit, and I talked about it on one of these episodes. I don't know if any of you guys remember that. I say all that to say that Mickey Mantle Freestyle was one of those songs. So when I made that song, I was like, I could drop this right now. However, I have this EP that I'm about to put out in a week or whatever the time was when I made the songs. And so I decided to hold off on it. Me and Ryan shot the video for it. Like, we dropped the EP. We released the EP, but I already had the Mickey Mantle song done and another song done. And me and Ryan went and shot videos. We shot a video for the Mickey Mantle video, or a video for the Mickey Mantle Freestyle, like a few days after the EP came out. And we shot a video for something else that is going to be coming out real soon, actually. But yeah, so we shot 2 videos for 2 songs that I had made like one of those weeks instead of working on the EP or whatever. But yes, Mickey Mantle Freestyle was one of those songs that I was talking about in the podcast episode. And it was something that I knew I wanted to do just like a little video for, kind of like I did the Solitude Freestyle a few years ago. I knew I just wanted to do a little kind of one take style video for it. And me and Ryan, we drove by this park. It's kind of close to the house. And I was like, it'd be sick if we did Mickey Mantle at the baseball field, whatever. It just turned out too perfect because we had actually met up that night a little late. The sun was already going down. I was like, man, I don't know if we're going to find like a lit up spot. And it was like fucking just perfect, you know? So yeah, that was, you know, something else I dropped. Just get into the bars, you know, giving y'all the raps. Like the EP has a lot of like melodic stuff and a lot more, you know, singing and experimental, just more songs, you know, making actual music instead of just like rapping. There's still some raps on the EP, but that's what like Mickey Mantle Freestyle, or like, you know, things that I just kind of get that chance to sort of showcase the lyricism or the lyrical ability, or, you know, whatever you want to call it. And people showed a ton of love on it. Like Mickey Mantle video did so good, like as far as like compared to like other videos that we released. Like it killed it on Facebook, like the thumbs ups and like the shares and the views. Like it's just all like, it was really nice to see, you know, okay, I dropped the EP and then a week later, just to kind of keep that momentum going, and for it to look like it's paying off a little bit, you know. It just gets me excited to keep the ball rolling. And so yeah, that Mickey Mantle video did really well. I really appreciate you guys for showing love on that one. Like I said, you know, it's just the bars. I appreciate you guys. That's the main thing that the people like from me, you know. They I guess not everybody, but they came from the battle rap stuff. I have a big fan base that came from the battle rap stuff. They want to hear me just on some straight rap shit. So when I do a video like that, they're fucking hyped on it. And that's awesome. I had a good feeling about it before I dropped it, and it's done really well. That song is also available on all the digital platforms. So Spotify, Apple Music, you can go ahead and listen to the Mickey Mantle Freestyle as well. Also produced by me, and but a different vibe from the EP. And like, I think I had played that song for KON. He's like, you don't want to add that one to the EP? And I'm like, nah, it's a different vibe. We're going to put out the EP, then we're going to drop that video like a week later, you know? So, yeah, just trying to put out more music, give you guys more content. And like I said, just kind of, this is the tip of the iceberg, really, with the new EP, with the Mickey Mantle Freestyle video. I have a new video coming real soon. We're going to try and promo the EP a little bit longer, and then it's on to the next one. Like I said, we wipe that track list off, we're on to the next one. Because I got a lot in my head, guys, and I got a lot of stuff. I have a lot of music that, was already being worked on, that was for an album that I was working on, that I do want to finish, but a lot of those songs were made in a place that I'm not necessarily in right now, and some of those songs aren't finished, and it's really hard for me to go back into a mindset or a feeling that I'm not necessarily relating to at the moment. And I have a lot of stuff like that was kind of the project I was planning to do next, was a lot of music like that I've been, kind of working on for the last couple years, but some of the songs I don't necessarily relate to that much right at the moment in my life as opposed to when I made it. So it's been hard for me to go back and finish it. However, I have a whole shit ton of other music that I've been working on a little bit more, a little bit more in my vibe right now. And so yeah, new stuff is definitely on the way. You know what I mean? Whether it's the project that I wanted to do, that I was planning to do, or the newer stuff that I've been working on that I got a lot in my head, and I don't know why I'm even talking about it because it's a little premature, but new music is coming, guys. This is just the tip of the iceberg. So if you guys have been enjoying the new stuff so far, I can't wait. I can't wait for the future. Get excited for the upcoming for this year. It's going, we're going to do a lot this year. So yeah. Mickey Mantle video. Talked briefly about the OSYB 5-year anniversary. And I did a little post, as I usually do on my Instagram and all that, about the 5-year anniversary. So I'll just read that real quick. God, I was hyped up to get this episode started, and I was drinking some tea with a little caffeine, and I've drank way too much caffeine today, so my heart was beating. I was nervous to get back to recording these episodes, Buck. It's been too long. All right, guys. So yeah, I wanted to read this little post I made on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, make sure to do that at Domes Gauge. So yeah, like I said, 2 weeks ago was the 5-year anniversary of my debut album that a lot of you guys either found out about me through or, were around when I released. And so I made this post. It says, I posted the cover and it says, 5 years old today. I can't thank you guys enough for the support on this album over the years. I always talk about what I wanted to do or could have done different after releasing this album, but that's not what I'm doing today. I'm excited for this new chapter I'm on. I just released a new project at the top of the year, a new song and video a week later, and so much more is coming soon. Thank you guys for sticking around. Love always. So yeah, guys, every year when I make a post about the album, it's always, oh, I wish I would have promoted it different. I wish I would have done this different. I wish I would have. And that's not what I'm worried about right now. That's not the mindset I'm on right now. I'm just excited to push forward. I'm excited for the new stuff that I'm working on. And I'm excited to just keep building this foundation. You know what I mean? So, once again, thank you guys so fucking much for all of the support on that album. That album was a big stepping stone for me. It was a departure from the young battle rap kid that I was into a more personal, full rounded artist, being more honest, being more vulnerable, being more true to myself. It was just a big stepping stone and played a huge part in the growth of, you know, who I am as an artist today. And that was the first, you know, building block to the foundation. I like to think. So I appreciate you guys for still showing love. Like Shoot for the Sky, you know, hit 100,000 last year. Or hit 100,000 views on YouTube, hit 25,000 streams on Spotify just recently. And that's big. Like, that's my biggest performing song. So to see, you know, 25,000 streams on Spotify for Shoot for the Sky, which was a part of that album, or 1993's doing its numbers, like, just to see people still 5 years later, like when I do these posts and I say, oh, it's been so long since I put out this album, the comments of people like, oh, this album's timeless. Like, I still listen to it. Like, I still, you know, this got me through that. Like, it just means so fucking much to me, and it's hard to even express that. So the fact that you guys are still tuning in after, you know, this long time, and, you know, still tuning in over the years truly means the fucking world to me. And I really appreciate it, guys. So 2020, we're doing it, guys. We're not slowing down. I mean, I've slowed down a little bit in the last month. Actually, I kind of slacked a little bit in the in the podcast department, but I've been busy. I've been working on music, and you know, I put out some music for you guys to digest while the podcast was gone. So we're back. So yeah, that's Old Soul 5-year anniversary. I don't know if there's anything else I wanted to. I fucked up. I wanted to do like something special for the 5-year anniversary. Like, I wanted to do, I don't know. I had ideas. Like, I wanted to do merch. I wanted to do something special for that 5-year anniversary, and I kind of let it slip through my fingers. I was, you know, like I said, it's hard for me to go back into these older projects after I'm like already, you know, working on the next one, already head in the next creative process. And so I put out that EP, and then was just trying to like figure out what to do with that, but also already almost on to the next one as well. And anyway, I'm talking in circles, but yeah, just wanted to say, hope you guys are enjoying the new music. And yeah, with the EP, that felt like, you know, it was like August, literally the first I don't know about the first episode, but it was one of those first few episodes of the podcast that I was like, I'm going to release an EP before the end of the year. So getting that out is like it was a nice accomplishment, and it felt good. And I felt the same way 5 years ago when I released the album. You know, it was like I put this deadline in my head, and when I released it on that day, it felt fucking satisfying. And it felt nice having like a project I was working on and releasing it as a whole, because I had been doing the single thing. Like, I had released, you know, a handful of singles the year prior, and it feels nice to release music regardless, but there's something different about like having that whole body of work to go with it. And I thought, oh, 8 songs, that's like a short project, so that's an EP, right? And then I upload it, and fucking Spotify is like, actually, an EP is 4 to 5 songs, that's less than 30 minutes. And I'm like, well, mine's 8 songs, that's 20 minutes. So I'm like, apparently my shit is too long to technically be an EP. So I'm like, so it's just kind of a short album. So I don't know what to fucking call these things anymore, you know, EPs, albums, mixtapes. There's no fucking there's no rules that actually make sense. People release long EPs or short album. I don't fucking know. It's a new project, it's a new body of work, and it's streaming everywhere. A Shot in the Dark by your boy Domes Cage. We're 45 minutes into this already, Buck. Feels good to be back, guys. It feels good to be back. although I'm a little rusty, I'm shaking the rust off, rambling a little bit, but when don't I? So one thing I wanted to do in the last episode, or I guess not the last episode, because the last episode was the KON episode, but the first episode of 2020, which was supposed to be in January, right? I wanted to do like a 2019 recap, like what did I accomplish this year kind of thing, going into the new year. And now it's been, a whole month since, and it's already February, and it seems a little weird for me to be doing any kind of like new year sort of thing, but because I have it written down already, I'm just gonna go ahead and list off some of the things in 2019 that I accomplished, or that I did, and I could say some stuff for 2020 that I want to accomplish, but I don't know. I don't fucking know. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about, what we managed to do in 2019, and heading into the new year, which is 2020, although I'm a month late, and it's a good reminder, actually, because like I said, I sort of slacked for the last couple weeks. So I'm needing this reminder to kind of, kick myself back into gear and, get back on track. So, yes, 2019, what did I accomplish in 2019? I don't know that I have any type of order for this, guys, so let's see. I dropped an EP. We're going to start with that one, even though it was at the end of the year and it kind of is bleeding into this year because I'm still promoting it. It happened last year. I dropped the EP. I put out the Run It Into the Ground music video and song, which for some reason I thought was a year old, which it was a year old, but it wasn't released. I made it a year prior, but it came out last year, 2019. It actually came out on Valentine's Day last year, which is like in a few days. So we're almost like a whole year away from from me releasing the Run It Into the Ground song and music video. I put out the Back on the Road music video and the Trust the Process music video. 2 songs that were released the year before, but I put out music videos for both. Speaking of those songs, I also got all of the music that I had released in 2018. So there was a handful of singles. No, Not an Option, Trust the Process, Back on the Road, Gold Mine, Angel with the Golden Harp, and Love Me, Leave Me. And I might be forgetting one, but there's definitely those that a few of those were produced by Lucid Sounds, who I think I've talked about on this podcast before, a dope producer on YouTube who reached out. But yeah, I had to get, clearances and stuff like that. And it took a while to get those songs on Spotify and all the streaming services, but they're there now. So I managed, so I released all those 2018, got them onto Spotify in 2019. To me, that was accomplishing something. Got all the clearances settled, got fucking everything uploaded. Anyway, that was written down. So, got the music from 2018 up on Spotify, and dropped Back on the Road video, Trust the Process video, and then the song Run Into the Ground, dropped the video for that. I hit 7,000 subscribers on YouTube. That was super big. I was counting that off with with my podcast listeners every week. I was like, subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 7,000. And since then, we keep going up. Not a crazy amount, but you know, we're going up. We've got like 50 new subscribers since we've hit 7,000. So hit that subscribe button, guys. Show love. we're trying to hit that 10K by the end of the year. If we can hit 10K by the end of the year, that would be fucking sick. I need to get more active, and I need to not take a month off in between episodes, but yeah. So yeah, 7,000 subscribers on YouTube. We started a new podcast, guys. We started this podcast, the Off the Dome with Domes Gauge podcast. We started a podcast. We were inconsistent at times with the podcast, but we started the podcast and we haven't let it die yet, guys. We won't let it die. There's no yet on that sentence. We won't let it die. We started the new podcast, and, you know, that was something that I've been wanting to do, and we did it. We started it last year, 2019, birthed the Off the Dome with Domes Gauge podcast. And I did 6 freestyle videos. It says 6 or 7. Why did I put 6 or 7? I couldn't have counted how many I did. What the fuck? I did some freestyle videos. I did like the Drake Money in the Grave freestyle. I did the Ed Sheeran freestyle, the Billie Eilish freestyle. Then I did the 3 Dreamville freestyles, which was like, I forget the songs. I did them on already. I did 3 to that. And did I do one more? If I said 7. I don't remember the other one I did, if I did another one. I do not know. I'm trying to think. I feel like I did now, but oh well. Can't remember. So yeah, I dropped some raps. For you guys. And I was dropping those raps because I was just trying to have content for you guys. I was trying to give you guys some content and not have to stress too much over like making a whole song or, you know, I've talked about multiple times about my reasons for rapping on like already established beats, like the Drake beat or the Ed Sheeran song or whatever. And those are fun, but the biggest downfall to them is that I can't do anything with them. I can't put them on Spotify. I can't sell them. Like, I don't own those beats. And that was a big, like, inspiration to me where I was like, you know, this year, I like that approach, but we're going to be making all the beats and shit. Mickey Mantle Freestyle, like, I made that beat. Like, everything, we're making all the beats. And where, you know, we're going to do all original freestyles this year. However, fucking this week, some kid tagged me. He made like a mashup of the Billie Eilish song that I did a verse over. Like, I rapped on that beat. It's like a mashup of that song with my verse on there. And I was like, oh, that's fucking tight. Like, somebody saw my verse and like likes her and like did this like mashup kind of remix or whatever. And that's fucking tight. Like, that wouldn't happen if it was my original song. So I don't know, maybe like it wasn't like a huge fucking person who did it, but it was cool to see even my verse get used for something like that. And so shout out to that kid that did that. I'm not sure, I can't remember who he was. He tagged me on Instagram, and I could go find it, but yeah, shout out to him for using my verse and making a little mashup. But yeah, we're doing original verses, original raps in 2020. What else did I accomplish in 2019? Worked on a lot of music. We made merch, guys. We made and released merch for the very first time, which was something big. Like, we've wanted to do shirts for fucking years. Like, since we released the album in 2015, we were like, yo, we need merch. So to finally get merch made and released and even sold, like, we sold a decent, like, there's not much merch left. I need to get more made and shit. So the fact that we got it made, and people, we sold some of it and people are buying it, and it was a good feeling. That's something we've wanted to get done for a long time, and the fact that we finally pulled off the Domes Gauge merch that was a big accomplishment last year, and we plan to get some new stuff going soon. So yeah, plan to get some new stuff, some new merch. I played 4 shows, which isn't that much, but it was something. I did play some concerts because I feel like the couple years before that, I was just playing no concerts. I just decided to like completely go MIA from performing shows, just hole up in the cave, And so last year I did a couple shows. And this year, I'm not sure how many shows I'm going to do, honestly. We'll see. We'll see how I feel about it. But as of right now, I'm just really enjoying the sitting in the cave and making music vibe. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So our new podcast is... Did I say Shoot for the Sky hit 100,000 views? I don't know if I said that. Shoot for the Sky hit 100,000 views on YouTube. Last year, that was exciting. I think I did talk about that. My rap battle versus Coolie Bop hit 1 million. That's the last one I've got written on here, which I was hesitant to bring up, obviously. But yeah, that's a big deal. When I was doing those rap battles and stuff, I never thought that like 1 million views. Never thought that was something I was gonna see. So like we were just doing that shit, like literally weren't getting paid for most of it, especially in the early days. We were just like doing it for fun, and certain people were getting big numbers. And so when I got into it, I guess there was always that like thought of, damn, maybe I could get big numbers if other people are doing it. But to actually see 1 million next to a video is pretty cool. And I think I talked about that on the podcast when it happened. And I don't really talk about the battle rap stuff that much anymore, as you guys know. It's not really what I pride myself on these days. I make music, and but it is a stepping stone. It is always a part of the journey. That's why I put it in the Trust the Process video. Some clips from the battle rap days. But yeah, that hit 1 million views, and I wrote that down as an accomplishment, I suppose. Now we got to get the music there, and Shoot for the Sky's on its way, man. It hit 100,000 a few months ago, and it's already like almost at 110. Like it's already almost 10,000 more since. So yeah, really means a lot that you guys still show love on that song. And 58 minutes, right under an hour, guys. Look at that. Oh my gosh. It's like fucking perfect timing. I'm going to bring up the questions because when me and KON did the episode, I was going to do questions like I normally do, but he had to leave and then things got all scrambled and I never answered questions. So we're going to get back on track. I'm going to answer the questions from the last episode, and we'll be back on track so you guys can ask questions for me for next episode. We're getting back on track, guys. I'm sorry KON threw everything off. Blame him. No, I'm joking. Don't blame KON. It's not entirely his fault, although Buck might say it is. Buck did not like having to move. Buck said, you threw off the set. You threw off everything. And every week that I missed an episode, he's like, that's what you get for having KON on. You just fucking up your own podcast. No, I'm just kidding. The KON episode is actually pretty cool for from what I remember. we just ran out of time for what we were trying to talk about and stuff. But anyway, so I knew there was a couple of questions though, and I did. I don't know that I'll answer them all, but Hot Dog Kisser, I apologize. I'm sorry I haven't done the podcast in so long, but we back. We're going to be back next week and the fucking week after. And I know in the last episode that I posted a month ago, I was like, I'm going to be back next week, I promise. And I wasn't back next week, but that's not going to be the case this time, I swear. I'm excited to be back recording these episodes. So that's what it took. I needed to back off, take that hiatus to really like get excited about it again. And here we are. So yes, Hot Dog Kisser asks, you asked a couple of them, Hot Dog Kisser, and honestly, my brain's not really working that much. I'm trying to read them over as I'm... Anyway, let me just fucking talk about them instead of saying some shit in my head. Just when you know a sentence is going bad, like when you start saying a couple words and you're just like, this isn't the sentence I'm trying to say right now. Whoops. Hot Dog Kisser asks, do you guys, and this was for KON too, clearly, do you guys ever think back at some of the bars you've laid and laugh at them now? Funny part about this question, Hot Dog Kisser, is I actually brought this up with KON in the last episode and cut it out because like I was like, yeah, definitely I laugh at a bunch of shit because like I cringe at a lot of our old shit, and KON got hella defensive and was like, nah, fool, at the time it was good. And I'm like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it didn't age well. Like, I don't know. We got into this whole thing about it, and I was like, I'm just cutting that shit out, bro. But yeah, I fucking laugh at a lot of the old stuff that we rap. I think a lot of shit. You know, it's hard to like watch an old video. It's just when you've grown so much, it's hard to like watch the old shit. If you ask any artist, like, you know, can you listen to your old music? They're gonna be like, nah, like the fucking way I was delivering this didn't sound good. Or, you know, for me, like I'm a producer, so I hear some of my old beats and I'm like, oh, what was I doing? Like that shit sounded all bad or whatever. And so yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that I look back at and just, you know, I know I've gotten so much better, so hearing just kind of, you know, makes me cringe. But KON would not agree with you. Just let you know that. KON would say absolutely not. He loves everything. Hot Dog Kisser also asks, what instruments do you know how to play? Not many, to be honest. I grew up playing guitar and drums and bass guitar. Me and my brother kind of grew up playing those instruments. And I was talking to somebody about this the other day. I was like, I grew up like, you know, I learned how to play guitar, but I never got like super crazy with it. I never got really, really good with it. I can do like kind of basics and I'm not terrible, but I'm not like crazy good at it. And drums, I think the same. I haven't played drums since I was a fucking kid, but I used to play them a lot. We used to have a drum set, and I haven't played them in forever. But all you know, that just kind of like, you know, I implemented all that into making beats. Like when we started making beats, all that like experience of, oh, I've been playing the guitar, I've been playing drums, playing bass, just like adding that experience into you know, making beats. That was definitely a big help. You know, like I was already somewhat familiar with music before I started trying to make beats, if that makes any sense, or before I tried to make any rap music. I was already like playing instruments and stuff. But yeah, those are now I play a little bit of piano, which I'm stretching by saying I play piano because I only play because I've only like learned so much through making beats. Like, I play keys sometimes on the beats I make, and so I've learned like very minimal amounts of piano as well. But yeah, I'd say mostly, I used to play guitar a lot, and I'm not very good at it actually, but used to be in like a punk rock band and like shit like that. But yeah, those are the only instruments I know how to play. Bass guitar, regular guitar. Like I said, used to play the drums, but haven't since I was a kid, so I don't know that I could actually I'm sure I could still play them. Yeah, actually, I know I could still play them because I make beats and it's just that fucking like the bass pedal is mad confusing with I don't know. Give me like a week just banging around on the drums and I'd figure it out again. So yeah, then Hot Dog Kisser asked a couple other questions. And he says, "What was your most memorable I can't fucking talk. I'm rounding the end of this podcast, guys. What was your most memorable gift you've ever received?" And Hot Dog Kisser, that is so fucking hard to ask, bro. The most memorable gift. Fuck, dude. Yeah, that's so fucking hard. I've gotten a lot of great shit as a gift, I can't lie. I've been very fortunate, very lucky to have people get me nice things, like I'm trying to think. Like I know like I have an acoustic guitar. I know I got that as a present or as a gift for like a birthday or something. I get a lot of like musical. The fucking computer I'm recording on was a goddamn birthday gift, guys. So the fact we'll go ahead and say that right now, because without this computer, there would be no podcast right now, and there would be no EP or music that's being made. So we're gonna go ahead and say that's the most memorable gift as of right now that I can think of off the top. So yeah. Got it as a birthday gift when I was like 23, 2. I don't know. I've had it for some years, and then I had this whole fiasco, which I talked about it on my Instagram. I don't know if I brought this up on the podcast, that I spilled coffee on this computer last year, and everything stopped working. It turned off and wouldn't fucking turn back on, and I had this heart attack of like all this music was not backed up and like just all of this shit, and I spilled coffee on it, and then luckily had it turned off for hella long, thought it wasn't gonna work, and then just one day the fucking shit turns on and has worked ever since. So thank the computer gods and knock on wood. But yeah, so that's a really nice gift. A very important gift, because without it, a lot of this stuff wouldn't be happening. So, very grateful for it. Then Hot Dog Kisser asks do you guys have any crazy sea level stories? I feel like you asked this on another podcast episode, Hot Dog Kisser, and I have no idea what you're talking about. What is a sea level story? Is that like... Yeah, I have no fucking clue, honestly. I have no clue. All right. We're up to date. So those were supposed to be episode 19 questions, but I fucked up and they turned into episode 20 questions, Hot Dog Kisser. So appreciate it. If you guys are still listening, make sure to leave some questions for me to answer next week. We'll be back next week for another episode. Yeah, I promise. I'll be back, guys. I swear I'm not going on another month-long hiatus. I will be back next week for another episode. This episode is going to be out on Monday, fucking bright and early. I'm back on track, guys, is what I'm trying to say. I'm back on track, and I hope you guys are excited for the podcast to be back. Once again, I appreciate you guys for listening. Make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're watching on YouTube. Rate and review on Apple or wherever you're listening to this podcast if you listen to it. And yeah, appreciate you guys listening. Make sure to go check out the new EP and the new single, Mickey Mantle Freestyle. If you haven't heard that yet, make sure to go listen to that everywhere. And yeah, we'll be back. I promise. I know I said this in the episode a month ago that I was going to be back next week and didn't come back next week and took a month off. It's not going to happen this time, guys. I swear. You have my word, or else Buck's going to kick my ass. Isn't that right, Buck? All right, guys. It was good to be back. Feels good to be back because we're going to be back next week. Anyway, I'm trying to fucking wrap this episode up. I haven't done an episode in a month, and my whole flow is just, it's off, but we're going to shake the rust off. And we're going to be back next week for another episode of Off the Dome with Dome's Gauge. Thank you guys for tuning in. Peace.